All right, your organizer doesn't look exactly like this, but you'll get a good definition from this, and I can draw you a better picture. You'll just have to transfer it to your little picture um, that's on your organizer, but that should help you as well, transferring it. So interior angles, angles formed between two lines cut by a transversal. Here's a couple of lines. They don't exactly have to look like this, but this is how yours look. And they're cut by a transversal, just another line that cuts those two lines. Transversals can cut 3 or 4 lines, but let's just keep it easy right now. So interior angles are formed between the two lines that are cut. So these angles are the ones that are formed. So this angle, this angle, this angle as well is interior, and so is this. These actually don't have special properties, because if you did over here have a couple more lines cut by a transversal, these wouldn't be the exact same interior angles, but between the two lines, this angle, this angle, this angle, and this angle are all called interior angles. Okay? So if you need to pause it and write that definition down, do it. Exterior angles are formed when two lines cut by a transversal as well. I'm going to make these look a little weird. So this one and this line are cut by a transversal as well. They're on the outside, it says outside of the two lines, so this angle, this angle, this angle, and this angle are all exterior angles. If you draw even weirder lines, two lines cut by a transversal, one line cutting more than one other line, we have an exterior angle out here, an exterior angle out here, one out here, and one out here. So 4 of each exterior and interior. Okay, if you need to pause it, get that down. Good. So the next one on yours is consecutive interiors. So I'm going to draw my lines like this. These are my two lines that are cut by a transversal right here. And it says interior angle, so we know they're in the inside, and they're on the same side of the transversal. So there is a pair of consecutive interiors right here. There's also another pair right here, this one and this one. So they are both inside on the same side of the transversal. Consecutive means gives you a connection to that. Alright, so the next one, if I'm moving too fast, pause the video. So alternate interiors are alternate sides of the transversal. It said non-adjacent interior angles on opposite sides of the transversal. So there's two lines cut by a transversal. Looks a lot like your picture of mine. Lines just are not parallelish. So non-adjacent opposite sides. So here is one alternate interior pair, the two green ones. And there's also these two, this one and this one. And notice that I didn't draw them with different angle arcers, because the special property is congruence if lines parallel. So you can see that really well if you draw your lines parallel and your transversal cutting them. These two alternate interior angles, since my lines my two lines are parallel, and by the way, you can tell somebody that your lines are parallel by little arrow deals. Those look like they're congruent. And by the way, you've got to make sure you know that they're non-adjacent opposite sides. So one on one line, one on the other. Alternate exteriors are the same idea. Let's just draw our lines parallel. They don't have to be called this, but let's just do it. So non-adjacent exterior angles, opposite sides of the transversal. So here's one exterior, and on the opposite side, the other alternate exterior angle. So these two as well, the pink ones are alternate interior angles. The special property is congruency if parallel lines. My lines are parallel, so I know that these alternate exterior angles are congruent. Last one to make our video under 7.5 minutes. I'm going to go quickly, but there's a whole bunch of these. One interior, one exterior, the same side of the transversal, but they have to be non-adjacent. So, oops, I forgot one arrow. So here's one. That's an exterior, so my next one is an interior. We kind of slide down the transversal. So let's start with our interior first, and then we slide down to our other line, and we draw our other corresponding angle. Notice I also did this because their special property is congruent if parallel lines. That's the sign for parallel. There's two more sets of corresponding angles. There's one right here, and we slide all the way down to the other one. There's also another one right here, and we slide down right there. So those are 4 pairs of corresponding angles. Got it?